Hi, welcome to my channel EasyML. My name is Sudarshan. In this video, we will be looking at the first topic in data exploration, which is summarization. Now, suppose we have students in a particular class and we want to evaluate the academic performance of these students. Well, how would we do that? We can examine the marks of each and every student, but that would be quite cumbersome. Well, we could do it for one class, but we cannot repeat this process again and again for all classes, as that would be infeasible. Hence, we have measures of central tendencies that will help summarize values in a particular dataset. For instance, in this case, we can simply take the average marks of the class, and that will help summarize the class performance of the whole class. Hence, this average value serves as an indicator of as to how the class is performed without us having to review each and every student. Now, let us look at the various measures of central tendencies. There are three measures of central tendencies, namely mean, median, and mode. Mean is nothing but the aforementioned arithmetic average. The median is the central value that emerges after arranging all the values in a particular dataset in ascending order. Well, lastly, the mode is just the most frequently occurring value in a particular dataset. Now, let us take a look at a sample dataset. This sample data consists of marks obtained by students in a particular class. The mean value is just the sum of all these marks divided by the number of students, that is 539 divided by 8, which yields a value of 67.4. The median value is just the central value after arranging the data in ascending order. The data here, as you can see, is already arranged in ascending order. Since there are 8 observations or values, the central value lies in between the 4th and the 5th observation, that is, between 64 and 65 respectively. Hence, we take the average of the 4th and the 5th observation, which is 64 plus 65, and divided by 2. That naturally yields a value of 64.5. Finally, we have the mode. The mode is just the most frequently occurring value in a particular dataset. Here, 86 appears twice, hence it becomes the mode. Given a particular dataset, we must understand which measure of central tendency is most applicable. Well, we will now go through some more sample data. Let us see which central tendency helps summarize each of these datasets. In this first dataset, the mean is 67.4, the median is 64.5, and the mode is 86. In this dataset, the mean appears to capture the essence, as the minimum marks in this dataset is 40 something and the maximum marks is 90 something, and 67 seems to be somewhere in between these two values. Hence, we can say that the mean summarizes this data pretty well. Now, I get what some of you are thinking. Hey, the median value is also 60 something, right? Well, to get rid of that doubt, let us move on to the next sample dataset. Here, we can observe that there is a student who has scored 5% and has underperformed drastically in comparison to his fellow classmates. All the other marks obtained by other students in this dataset remain the same as the first dataset. Here, we can observe that the other central tendencies remain the same in comparison to the first dataset, except for the mean, which has dropped to 62.8. This drop is due to that one student who has scored 5% and has underperformed. This student's performance can be deemed as an outlier or a one-off occurrence, in other words, since the mean or the average value is susceptible, or we can even say sensitive, to these kind of outliers. We will use the median value, which is 64.5, to summarize this particular dataset. Now, finally, we have the last sample dataset. we observe that the number 86 appears maximum number of times in this dataset. Hence, it would be better to report the value that occurs the maximum number of times, as that is the best way to summarize the values in this third dataset. Now, in these instances, I must warn you that there is no right or wrong answer per se. Ideally, given a dataset, we derive all the three measures of central tendencies and then look at which one seems to be most accurate or appropriate. Now, let us understand what is the application of central tendencies towards machine learning. Suppose in a sample dataset, we have missing values for a particular observation. We can either ignore this record or observation or replace the missing values with a value that does not heavily tamper with the dataset. Here, we can observe that the observation John has missing values of height, weight, and age. Given the nature of the data, we replace John's height with the average height value of 167.4 centimeters, as the height data does not seem to have any outliers as such. Now, we replace John's weight with the mode value of 85 because we can observe that 85 occurs the maximum number of times. And finally, we replace John's age with the median value of 29, as we can observe that Jack's age, 56 years, seems to be an outlier in this case. So, this is an example of how central tendencies can help tackle the problem of missing values in machine learning. Now, this brings us to another question. Is central tendency good enough for data summarization? Stay tuned to the next video to find out more. Thank you.